I want to congratulate you for being chosen as our Women of Excellence for Bennett Motor Express for 2023. And so I have
Crazy.
I have to tell you, I'm just looking here. You had four nominations.
Wow.
Yes, and so a lot of wonderful things that certainly were said about what a wonderful, first of all, what a wonderful woman you are, and then what a wonderful woman driver you are. And
Yes. Very honored.
so I just wanted to talk to you a little bit. How long have you been driving for Bennett?
Um, November will be 2 years.
And how long have you been driving in the industry?
7 years. My husband and I, um, well, we're from West Virginia, and we, I was a school cook forever, which was the best job in the whole wide world. Love that. I still have relationships with a couple of kids. One is, I think she's 23 or 24. She's a teacher now. And when I move home to West Virginia, I get to be her classroom grandma, which I'm just thrilled to death about that. And then the other boy, he's 22, and he's had some problems, and we've been able to help him thanks to, this job that we have. We're able to pass it on, but anyway, so then we moved to Florida to be close to my first grandchild, and Florida just isn't an easy place to live. So we started looking around, and all we saw was truck driving jobs. So we went to school over in Missouri with Prime. They were really good. People always make fun of Prime too, but they were really good to us. And but anyway, met Denise Cole before we even started. Well, when we first thought about driving, her and Billy, and just what a great relationship that's been. That's why we're at Bennett, is because of Denise and Billy. So really thankful for that relationship.
And so what is it like being out on the road right now? And I know you're a team driver with your husband. And so tell me how that is.
Well, when we first started, back with Prime, we were all over the place, up and down, round and round. We even went into Canada, and boy, what an experience that was. But we had no time. We were in the truck constantly. So being able to be where we are now, uh, with our weekends off and a dedicated route, and all of that, it's been good,
Where you going? Where you going?
so
Well, wonderful. And so, you know, safety is priority one at Bennett. And so we appreciate the fact that you're a safe driver, that you do a great job representing Bennett safely. So, out on the road, how do you practice safety?
well, of course you have to be aware of everyone that's around you, mostly because there's a lot of there's a lot of unsafe drivers out there, not just, regular cars, but there's a lot of crazy truck drivers out there too. Matter of fact, I had one the other day. We were coming to a one lane road where there was construction, and he actually pushed me off on the side of the road. And so it's just being aware of everyone around. And of course, good sleep and good food, you know, that's all a part of taking care of myself so that I can be more safe, with the environment. But
Right.
yeah.
So we get asked a lot. We have a lot of women that drive at Bennett, which we're very thankful for, in a lot of the different areas. A lot of team drivers, but also a lot of women that drive by themselves, that are independent contractors. So, what If you had another woman ask you about getting into this business and maybe coming to Bennett, what advice would you give them?
Well, personally, I would not want to be a solo driver. Matter of fact, last summer, my husband fell out of the back of a trailer. It was rainy and it was dark and shattered his elbow completely. So I did do some solo runs, and I was very scared, to tell you the truth. But the people that are out there and the people within Bennett too. There was a man that was doing the same route that I was doing, and I just felt comforted knowing that he was close around. I
Mm.
mean, we weren't like on the road side by side, but I just felt very comfortable with that. And also, I had my dog with me, and so that gave me comfort too. So I would suggest that a woman have a dog with them, just for some added protection. Because I mean, my dog would just lick you to death, but she also barks when someone comes around. So yeah, it's it's a good job. It really is a good job. You have to be the right kind of person too, though, because as a solo driver, you're alone all the time, and
Mhm.
that's hard, although you've got the phone that you can talk on, and different. I listen to Dr. Stanley and Joyce Meyer every morning, so that gives me comfort too. But just take advantage of all the tools that are out there, and relationships with other women, that make it that are able to give you advice, and all of that kind of stuff. So
Do you know, Bennett has a program, it's Women in the Driver's Seat, that what we want to try to do is be able to let that become kind of a community for all of our women drivers to share insights with, give encouragement to each other, recognize the work that they're doing, and just honor all the women out there in our industry that is trying to make a difference.
that's
So,
great.
yeah, so there we have a website, and I think one of the things they're going to do um, is they're going to look at getting women to give best practices on the road from a health standpoint. What are some of the things that you do to help stay healthy on the road? So some things like that I think will be great for all of the our women drivers to participate in.
I agree with that.
Yeah. So tell me, when you're not at work, where do you like to be and what do you like to do?
Well, this summer we were able to take my three children and my husband's three children and our eight grandchildren to the beach down in Florida. We rented a house, and it's kind of in memory of my dad. My dad passed May a year ago, and we used to go to family reunions like every 4 years or something like that. So I wanted to pass that on to all of our children. And so that's one of the things that I treasure, is visiting family. And I love to quilt. It's a little hard to do that because we live in a camper. Of course, while we were on the truck constantly, I was not able to do that. I started a quilt like 9 years ago for my son, a wedding quilt, and it's still not done yet, but it's close. But yeah, yeah.
Do you quilt with your sewing machine?
I What I've done in the past is I machine piece and
Mm.
then hand quilt. So I was
Yeah.
going to take this quilt to somebody to do it on the long arm, but my son was like, "No, mom, I want your hand to do this." So it's like, okay, it's going to be a while, but it's close. I probably got it. I'm probably going to wait till the winter, where I have to be inside and all of that. So
I grew up with my mother, my grandmother, and my aunt quilting on a big rack. and they
Yeah.
did it all by hand. And I
Yeah.
still have some of those quilts, and I tell you, they are the most. I treasure them so much. So your
Yeah.
son, when that one's done, it's gonna be a treasure for him.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it is. So I wanted to read you, Annie, some of the things that was said um, about you in your nomination. It says that Annie embodies all the characteristic traits that make up a Bennett woman driver of excellence. That Annie cares for others is constant and a reminder to all of what Bennett's core values embodies. They also talk about that you put the feeling of the customer as well as your fellow drivers ahead of your own, showing respect, kindness, and professionalism always.
Well, that's nice.
Yes, so a
Nice.
lot of really wonderful things. They talk about how your values align with Bennett's core values.
That's
So,
very humbling.
and I also read that you are fostering a young man, and that you do a lot of work with some of the donations to some of the missions. So sound like you're
Yeah.
very involved from
Yes.
a spiritual standpoint.
Yeah. Well, my son in Florida, they have one child, and then they have three foster children. They're all 2 years old. Two are twins. Matter of fact, their birthday is today, the girls. And then they have another one that's he turned 2 in June. And so yeah, we donate heavily to Fostering Hope Florida. And then the other one was that the young man I was just talking about, the 22-year-old, I met him when he was in the second grade, and he's just had a really hard life. His mom gave him up or left when he was a child, when he was a baby with his dad, and his dad, I'm sure, did the best he could, but anyway, Alex has always he asked me last year, he's like, Annie, why are you, helping me? And I was like, Alex, God put you on my heart when I met you in the second grade. Yeah.
Well, that's wonderful. Sounds like you've been a true blessing to him.
I hope so.
So, and is there anything else, Annie, you'd like to share with us this morning? And I want to ask you, if you have anything you'd like to say in receiving the Women of Excellence Award for Bennett.
Well, I am definitely humbled that there are my peers or my friends that thought that I was worthy of this. I'm sorry. um, I'm just very humbled.
Well, you're an excellent driver, and we appreciate the way that you represent Bennett and represent our core values, and that you do it all safely. And we we just appreciate you, and thank you for being a woman of excellence.
Thank you so much. I appreciate
Okay.
that.
You guys travel safe and be safe in that Atlanta traffic.
We will try our darndest. Thank
Okay.
you so much again for the honor.
All right. Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye bye.